Hey, what's going on? Jeremy here, back again. This is the live production of episode 73 of the Client by Client podcast. If this is your first time here, drop me a number one for all my repeat offenders, friends, family, current clients, past clients, friends, lurkers, strangers, and even you, the haters. Drop me some emojis here. Let me know what's up. Would love to shout all of you out and say hello. Today's episode is all about why every message matters. And we're going to unpack this, break it open, and hopefully share with you a couple of reasons why you must tighten up the communication between you and your prospects. In the last episode that went live today on the feed was why the name of your program doesn't matter. So if you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go snag that and go give it a listen. If it's helpful at all, then you're welcome. Send me a screenshot. Let me know. Post it to your story. Tag me. I don't know. That'd be great. That said, let's hop in and let's do this together. It's been a long day. Lots of content review, lots of staring at the computer screen. That's why we're here a little later than normal. It is what it is. Let's hop in. Let's get this going. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In the last episode, I shared with you what I would do if I was starting over here in August 2023. What would I do if I was starting from scratch? If I didn't have an email list, if I didn't have a social following, maybe if everything was taken away from me and I was banned from all platforms and all of the audience that I had was gone, or if I just decided to start from scratch again. What would I do? How would I go about it? What would I focus on? And what would I be intently focused on not doing so that I could get to my first $3,000 to $5,000, turn that into 3 to 5 clients, $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and then continue growing on from there. I share with you the mindset. I share with you the how-to. I share with you the what not to do. So be sure to backtrack to listen to that episode if you're at the starting line, if you're feeling like you need a fresh reset, if you want to just get a little bit of a refresher for what you might be doing if you're not at 3 to 5K this month or last month. That way you can make sure that you're following the proven framework that works, that you aren't wasting time and energy, priceless time and energy, doing things that maybe just don't matter, that aren't going to result in you getting a new client or making the kind of impact that you know you're so capable of doing. In today's episode, we're talking about why every message matters and hopefully some compelling reasons for why you must tighten the communication between you and your prospects and why every single interaction with your prospects matters. That said, let's hop in and let's get this going. It's important to understand what happens if you don't get today's episode right. The first thing that happens is that you miss out on opportunities, and that's frustrating because you're grinding every single day. And even when you're not grinding, business is on your mind, and you're dying for some new clients, and you're hoping those new clients sign up, and you really want it, and you just can't figure out why prospects aren't booking calls and why people aren't signing up. Online coaching looked easy as you got into it, and you're starting to realize that it's a little bit harder, and that's extremely frustrating. The second thing that happens is that you wind up blending in with everybody else. And let's be honest, it's frustrating because the competition is fierce, and there've never been more online coaches than here today in August of 2023. So competition is fierce, making it even harder to actually get through to your prospects, even when they've replied, even when they've raised their hand, even when they're already going back and forth with you. You're blending in with everybody else. And so it's important you understand what to do to actually stand out. Now that we know what happens if you don't get today's episode right, at a high level, here's the realm I want your mind thinking in when it comes to the communication and what I'm talking about here with every message mattering. I want you thinking about anyone responding to any content that you have, like comments. If you are asking people to DM you a word, if they're interested in a lead magnet or in working with you or in booking a call, those sorts of people, any sort of hand raisers, as we call them. If you have an email list, people responding to any emails that you're sending out. If you have a Facebook group, anybody commenting, anybody asking for any of the assets or the trainings that you have, these are the sort of things that I want you thinking about and what we're going to be focusing on here on tightening the messaging and what to do so that you actually break through. Now, at the end of this, I have a resource that's going to help you with this to tie it all in together. So be sure to stay through to the end if you want to know what that is and where to grab that. Thing number one for why every message matters is because your prospects are extremely busy. And I use this as an example a lot because this happens to me, unfortunately, with a lot of my friends and family. And even when I'm going back and forth with other business owners and sometimes you guys in the DM, is that maybe I'm in line at Starbucks or maybe I'm in line at Crumble Cookie getting whatever this week's featured delightful treat may be. And I'm looking at my phone and I'm typing back and forth. Maybe I'm even in the middle of a voice memo. And then I'm in the moment, I'm responding, I'm trying to add value, I'm answering questions, I'm trying to get you guys the things that you're asking for. And then the barista, the baker, the other person on the other end says next or says, hey, how can I help you? And then I look up and I realize, oh, crap, I'm back in reality. I put my phone in my pocket. And then when I go back to it, when I'm back in the car, when I'm back in a spot where I can get back to responding, that has gone, the feed has refreshed, maybe the app quits, something like that, or you just straight up forget. And so I use that as an example personally because I know how it can be. And I want for you to amplify that by 2 or 3 when it comes to your prospects. You just don't know what's going on in their life. And you're also competing against much more than other coaches, other service providers, and other influencers in the DM. You're competing against the barista, the baker. You're competing against the kids. You're competing against the dogs barking, the mailman, the Amazon package. You're competing against whatever's next in the TikTok feed. You're competing against whatever commercials going on. You're competing against all of the elements going on in your prospects' lives. And if you don't take that into heart and take that into consideration, it gets really hard to get your messages to communicate. So if you just take this one example of your prospects are busy, and then you look at all of the messages that you're sending back and forth, because we know, and you now know from listening to the last 74 episodes of the show, that unless you are the authority in your space and you have the notoriety and you have the expertise and you have that name that your market just knows, which is a very small fraction of percent of any coaches and an even smaller fraction of a percentage of you, through the 3 of you, the 2 of you listening to the show right now. The fact of the matter is that I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm still not the authority in the space. I'm still not the big box. I'm not the coach that people wake up saying that's the person for me and I don't know who they are just yet. And so if that's the case for me 10 years in, then I dare say that's probably going to be the situation for you as well, barring a few examples or some good fortune being bestowed upon you. And so your prospects are super busy. And when you take that into consideration, what you wind up finding is that if you look at the messages you're sending back and forth, if you are wasting time, for example, in the follow-up saying, hey, just circling back, or hey, just wanted to touch base on this, you lost it. You're done. You're already out. They're not even going to open your message because they see the preview there. And what they're going to be assuming is that you're selling them. And so what you need to do is tighten the communication. And I could do a whole other episode on coming up with messages that aren't salesy. In fact, if you get the resource I'm going to share with you at the end of this, you'll have everything that you need to make sure that your messages make it through. And you could also go out of your way to come up with the best copy, the best messaging that's the most direct, that isn't salesy, but still moves your prospects through your pipeline. And they still might not open it. You still might get buried in the inbox. You still might go to the request folder. There's still the chances of those things. Now, that's not any reason to stop messaging, to stop getting back to your prospects in a timely fashion, which is about one of the only things that you can control is the time you take to respond and how quick that is. Everything else is up to the elements of the world, and it's up to how important the pains and problems are in the market that you're talking to, which is why you have to get all of these things right. We know from these last 70-ish episodes that we have to be talking about pains and problems, number one. And if you aren't, none of this stuff is going to be nearly as effective as it could be. If you are talking about pains and problems, and now you are also taking in consideration that your prospects are busy and you're looking at the messages that you are sending and you are starting to not just send different messages to every person, you're starting to come up with somewhat of a script that you just customize on the fly and that you plug in to the individual prospect that you're talking to. Now you have a higher likelihood of that message getting across, of them responding, of you breaking through to the noise. And so you have to be understanding you also have to be sympathetic with what's going on in your prospects' lives. I just gave you a bunch of examples for what could be going on. That's not even in consideration with the thing that you might be coaching them on. If you help parents, they have the loud kids. If you help single moms get the high school body back, think about all the things just going on in their head that might be distracting them, let alone wanting to interact with someone that's helping them. And I don't know if you're anything like me, but sometimes you desperately need help with something, but it's created so much importance and you're so sensitive to the thing now that you don't even want to bring it up. You don't even want to talk about it. You don't even want to think about what the next thing is. this is going on in the lives of your prospects, you have to take it into consideration. The first reason why every message matters is because your prospects are extremely busy and they have a lot going on in front of them. Second, the world has never been noisier. We have all of the social platforms, and we have new ones coming out, like Threads that came out in July, like any new platform that's there. And all of these new platforms are adding new ways to interact with people for the kinds of content that you can post. And so you are competing with dozens of advertisements that your prospects come across before they even get out of bed. You are competing against the TV. You're competing against a lot of noise, let alone the thoughts that are going on in their head. And so it's so important that you consider every message that you're sending back and forth in the DM or in email or in the comments. And if you can just like I'm saying it in this way because you might not go and get this amazing resource I have for you at the end that's helped dozens of my clients. That is a piece of my coaching program that I want to give to you for free here today. If I just have a second to tell you that the world is noisy, you need to think about what you're sending. Now you can start to think in the realm of how do I tighten these things up and exactly what do I need to do and how can I put myself in the prospect's shoes, be sympathetic to the noisy world that they have going on, and then now what can I do even beyond my messaging to make sure that they want to open my messages and respond at every step of the way. And even when you understand what it takes to get people to book a call or to sign up for your coaching program in the DM, even when you understand that, it's still not enough if you aren't putting yourself in their shoes and thinking through what's going on in their life. And so if you can take a second just to do that and to maybe even think, how would I want to be? How would you want to be communicated with? Now you're at least on a closer path to tightening up your messaging, tightening up that communication. And now you have a higher likelihood of them not only saying, yes, I'm open to help. And yes, I'm open to hopping on a call together. They're far more likely to now actually go and book the call, come and tell you that they booked the call, and then to show up for that call and play full out. The second reason why every message matters is because the world has never been noisier, and you can be one of the people that adds to the noise, or you can be one of the people that deliver them from the noise and help them get focused in on getting the results that they're wanting and out of the pains and problems and struggles that they're currently experiencing. Third, you want the straightest path to victory when it comes to booking calls and when it comes to getting clients to sign up. And so what this means is that you can't waste precious time and precious attention from your prospects saying dumb things, asking dumb questions that don't get you anywhere. I gave you the example earlier of when you follow up and saying, hey, just following up, or hey, circling back, or something like that. You really have to understand that your funnel, which is just the steps that it takes for people to go from stranger on the internet to kind of suspect about you to prospect, is that you want that to be as simple as it can possibly be and no simpler. And when you take that into consideration, you start to think about what are the steps that's going to get somebody to show interest, to go back and forth with you in the DM, and then to book a call with you to get on that call and to get to the end of that call and say, how much does it cost? Do you have room for me? Can I pay with an American Express or with a credit card, or do you take PayPal? Which are all of the things you're wanting, trust me, to be going on. If you had that conversation just once a day, you'll have far more than just one client by the end of that week. You need the straightest path to victory. And in this organic marketing world, and even if you're doing paid traffic, when you add and when you take into consideration this conversational layer that's going to be happening between you and your prospects, because even if you're doing ads, this is why it's such a slippery slope, is because you're going to start thinking, wow, people aren't just going to sign up for my coaching program from the ad, which is the dead truth. And then you're going to start to say, okay, well, let me start to make a micro offer. Let me do a little paid workshop. Let me do a tripwire. And now you just created a full-time job becoming an ad traffic, a paid traffic media buyer person. And that's a whole different kind of job than you signed up for when it comes to online coaching. And maybe you are that person that's the paid traffic and you know the things and the strategies and all of that. I help coaches. I help people who in their heart of hearts. This show is for people who are here because their soul-guided, God-given mission and purpose is to coach others, is to be of service to others. And then when you realize that, okay, the most successful coaches are the ones that know how to market, and moreover, the ones that know how to sell, moreover, the ones that know how to close, and that you have to go through that in order to actually have people to coach, the last thing that you want to do is inject extra steps and have to go and learn extra things that you don't need, like paid traffic or like ads. All you really need is a super juicy offer for one specific person that has one specific problem, and to have the straightest path to get them to consider working with you. And so when you think about the messaging that happens back and forth, you cannot waste precious airtime saying things that are not going to advance the conversation. I mentioned at the beginning of this episode that I have a free resource for you. If I had one thing that would make the biggest difference in your online coaching business more than anything else, it's a piece of intellectual property that I created over these last 3 years that's called Convo to Close. And what I show you in this training is how to take someone from cold to warm to them booking a call with you all inside of the DM. It's absolutely magic. And once you discover it, there's no going back. Because what you then realize is that, wow, this is right. This is why people aren't booking calls. It's because I'm not having a conversation with them back and forth. And so in this training, I show you exactly how to book calls from the DM organically from social media, even if you only have a couple hundred followers. What to do so that if you do want to sell your program through the DM, how you can gear yourself up for it. And I give you some examples for me and how other students are already doing this, how they've taken the Convo to Close training and methodology and injected it into their organic marketing. And if you are doing paid traffic, it can make your stuff work even better. If you would like a copy for that, if you would like a copy of that, all you have to do is find me on Instagram and send me the word convos. Or wherever you're watching this, drop the word convos and I can make sure to get you a copy. It's located over in my Leverage Coach group, so I can give you all the instructions for how to get it, how to download it, and then you can start to implement. You can go through the training and start to implement in your online business. It includes a training and a workbook. That way you can sketch this all out as you're watching, and you can come up with the messages that you need before the end of the training. In the next episode of Client by Client, I've heard your feedback. We're going to do it. We're going to talk about social media as a funnel. This is going to be a super important episode, so be sure to come back tomorrow to listen in to how to use social media as the funnel so that you can eliminate complicated tech and expensive online softwares and funnel services and just use social media to grow your online business. Whenever you are ready, here are 3 ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox? Well, you're losing leads in the cracks and you're leaving a lot of money on the table. That's why I created GetBookedCRM. What started out as a tool that I designed for me and my own business has quickly become the favorite of my personal clients in the Get Clients program and many of my community members in the Leverage Coach group. It helps you get leads and turn them into clients in half the time. And right now, at the time of this recording, it's 100% free. All you have to do is find me on Instagram and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got almost 1,000 coaches over in the Leverage Coach community. They're just a couple steps ahead of you at the same step that you're at, or a baby step or 2 behind where you're at, and all ships rise in a high tide is my belief. Get around them, get around me, and get access to free weekly trainings and other resources I find and that I leverage in my online business. All you have to do is send me the word group over on Instagram now. Third, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of $15K worth of new clients or doubling your online client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But finding and working with the right people is super important to me. So this is only for you if you're a relationship-focused coach who always puts the human ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 1 year, or you're not brand spanking new to online coaching. You'd like to get 3 to 5 clients organically every month from social media without wasting time and money on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social platform, email list, or group. You are willing to take bold action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last, but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, tap that Instagram app and search @WhatIfJeremy and message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business and your vision for these next 12 months. And then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program and how we're already helping students crush it with my methods and my frameworks, like Henry, who got 8K worth of clients in his first 31 days, or Juan, who's having a 60K month this month here in August. all you have to do is find me on Instagram at whatupjeremy and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. Cheers. Kim, what's up? Hey. Appreciate you. Thank you. Great content. That means a lot, my friend. Been missing you. I hope all is well on your side. Interesting things. The car got hit today at the gym, and I went out of my way to park away from everyone. Still got sideswiped. What kind of shit is that? It's my buddy Stefan's birthday today, so headed out to Outback Steakhouse in the next 30-ish minutes. Gonna enjoy that. Should be a great Thursday. I hope everything on your side is going well. And for proof, I won't show the number, but here's a little note for someone saying, hey, I hit your car. Sorry. This was very considerate of them. So I do appreciate that. There's still good people out there in the world. Have faith. All right, guys. Appreciate you for being here. Hope your Thursday is going well. And I hope this brought value to you. If it did, take a screenshot, post it to your story, tag me at whatupjeremy. It'd mean the world. Help me reach more coaches as well. All right, guys. Enjoy the day. See you around tomorrow. Peace.